So this week DJI have launched the new Neo ultralight tiny drone, and there are tons of videos out there with full detailed descriptions, and I've watched the majority of them. However, there are a couple of things that they all seem to have missed out on that I think that you guys need to know if you're thinking about buying one of these. But first, a little disclaimer: DJI did send this drone out to me after I paid them some money. Now let's address the elephant in the room here. DJI have quite simply brought this out to attack and get some of the market that was created by the HoverAir X1 with its first ever flying camera, as they called it. Now I have one of those and I have used it on several occasions. I don't use it as much as I should do, and I was going to bring it out today, but I've just moved house and I can't find it. Now, as I said, there are loads of heavily detailed reviews out there on this drone, so I'm not going to go into that because you can find it anywhere. But I want to bring up a couple of issues that I think are marketed really badly and incorrectly about this drone. Now, I have no doubt that DJI are one of the best drone manufacturers out there for the sort of low-level market for quality and price, and functions and features. They are great, and I have got one. But for this to attack the HoverAir market, it doesn't fold. So yeah, as you saw at the beginning there, it will fit in a large pocket. But I think they've really missed a point here where the HoverAir X1 can just completely fold and go into a back pocket, even of your jeans. So that is the first sort of downside. But I think the picture quality of this is considerably better when you compare the two side by side, and that's watching videos and doing it myself with my own videos previously on the X1. Now, one of the things I do not like about the HoverAir X1 is the fact that it cannot fly over water. It uses a sensor underneath it to detect the ground. So if it goes over water, the reflections throw it out and it can't judge its height, so it could drop straight in the water. Also, if you were on the top of a mountain or a tour on Dartmoor and you use the circle mode, as soon as it goes off the level of where it was standing and that suddenly drops, it can't see the ground and it again will plummet. Looking at the advertising that DJI do for this drone, and I will put a clip up now, you can see quite clearly this thing flying across water, following wakeboarders, doing droney circles around someone on the top of a tour where there is a quite obvious and distinct drop-off, which means that this drone will beat the HoverAir X1 in that area, which to me is a massive difference. Now, if you look at all the information you can find online on DJI's website, there is nothing that says it can't fly over water. There's nothing that says it can't fly off a drop-off where it's going to suddenly drop because it can't see the ground underneath it. It does not show that anywhere. However, when you connect to the tutorial on your phone with this, and if you go through that tutorial and hints and tips, it says, do not fly over water, do not fly over a drop-off. So this has got exactly the same issues that the HoverAir X1 has. Now, don't get me wrong, I love DJI, and I think their drones are fantastic. And I think this is better in a lot of respects, and it's also considerably cheaper. The HoverAir X1 was £350. Now, you could get a small DJI Mini SE, I think it is, for that sort of price, and it's a proper drone. This is only £169, and I think that is a major bargain. It is cheap in comparison to the HoverAir X1, no two ways about it. Now, the HoverAir are bringing out a Pro and a Pro Max very shortly, coincidentally, at the same sort of time that this has come out, which is going to give you a lot more functionality, and some of it is going to be better than this. But the entire point of a small, self-flying camera is that it is small and it is simple, and the HoverAir X1 is incredibly simple, and this is incredibly simple as well. You know, it's even better because you can actually see what it's going to do on here, so you can flick through the modes using the pictures, the lights that are on there, so you can see what modes there are. So it is just as simple. But for DJI to market this as a drone that goes over water and doesn't tell you anything about it until you purchase it and go into the actual app to learn how to use it, I think it's a bit of a Mickey take. Now, DJI customer services are not open over the weekend, and I received this late on a Friday afternoon, so I can't speak to them to ask them how to get around that issue. I have no doubt they will say, oh, you can fly over water if you use it with a remote controller, because you do have the option to purchase a remote controller, put your phone in and then control this like a normal drone, and then you can fly it over water or anywhere because it will use the link, the GPS to the phone and the controller. So to fly this drone over water or over drop-offs, you need the drone, you need your phone, and you need a remote controller. So suddenly the advantage of a tiny, ultralight, very simple drone goes out the window because you've got a massive controller, you've got to have your phone, and a drone that is bigger than the HoverAir X1 that fits into your pocket a lot easier. Now, if I'm going to bring out the DJI remote and use my phone, I may as well just use my Mini 3 Pro, because the Mini 3 Pro itself is thicker but smaller than this and will fit in a pocket just as easily. And the remote is pretty much the same size as the remote you need to fly this. And my phone is always on me. So I don't really see the advantage of having that at all in any way, shape or form. As I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing DJI, I love DJI. This is a DJI camera, it's a DJI mic, I've got a DJI drone. So there is nothing wrong with their gear. I just think they missed a trick here massively with not having it folding, simple as that. And if there was a way around it that they could fly this drone over water and over drop off, so you can actually do a proper circle around you or whatever it may be, then you're not going to have to worry about losing this drone in the water. The propellers are completely covered in here. It's going to be very hard to damage it. But if it goes in water, those propeller guards aren't going to help it. So I'll take some footage now. I will show you it, which is on the various different modes. So following me, in front of me, the droney shot, the rocket. I haven't done the circle yet, which I will do now, but they all work pretty much the same and they are incredibly simple. I have noticed the sound quality of the HoverAir X1 really wasn't good. It struggled to remove the propeller noise, and I thought it'd be interesting to see whether or not DJI have resolved that, and they haven't. I just want to say at this point that if you find this video helpful at all, please hit the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button as well, because it really helps the channel out if you're enjoying what you're seeing. Yes, this is with the drone at its highest and furthest setting for walking and talking. Now, the issue with the HoverAir X was that the suppression system for noise wasn't that great. The sound quality wasn't brilliant. It was okay, it was acceptable, but it wasn't high. So it'd be interesting to see what this is like. And this is at its furthest distance away from me. Tell me what you think in the comments below. One of the downsides to the circle is you cannot adjust the height. It is at a set height, so it's pretty much head high, and I've just tried it and crashed it straight into a bush because I tried it at 20 meters, and it's hard to gauge exactly 20 meters, but so you also don't know what height it's going to go to. So yeah, I've now got a drone that's covered in green bits of a bush from where it chopped it up. So would I recommend the DJI Neo? For the price, 100%. It does what the HoverAir X1 does, just as good, if not better in some respects. But don't be fooled by the marketing that DJI are showing out there, because it will not fly over water, it will not fly over drop-offs. You will need your phone, you will need a controller for it as well. You can also link it to the FPV goggles as well, so you know they're great because you can fly it like an FPV drone. But it defeats the object, as I said before, of having a small pocketable drone that is simple and easy to use. So if that's what you want, £169, this is a major bargain in comparison to the HoverAir X1, and no doubt when the new one comes out, that's going to be even more expensive. Anyway, hopefully just a short video around this new product, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, as always, hit the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.